right, guys, welcome to the Get Bit podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm the host of the most, Will Buchanan, of course, Black Spartan, of course, the man to my left, your right, speaking on your screen is flipped, and go ahead, sir.
I love that he doesn't see these until the very last second, and we've been talking for almost half an hour. Hi, I'm Joe Tonello, letting you know that I laughed, I cried, I laughed, and I realized, well, that was an hour and 30 minutes.
I just looked at what you had at the bottom. Together, we are the Get Bit podcast, and much like WWE old guys, there is some choice language on here, although we do our best not to cuss entirely. At the same time, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers, but viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, of course, we are still in the waves of the SAG-AFTRA strike. So, although Get Bit podcast does support the writers and actors, which means that there may be some things that we will not talk about, simply put, because we are standing in solidarity with them. And the fact of the matter is, we do not want to scab or, vulture work that has been done by those very same hardworking actors and writers. So please, we do apologize profusely that there are some things that we are simply and truly not going to talk about as we support them. That being said, a lot of news has come out that we can talk about, especially with Sony really swinging for the fences, especially with their most recent Spider-Man 2 trailer, just because the news that dropped from it. Here's the trailer.
A lot's happened in the last 10 years. It's a miracle I'm even sitting here now. I got a second chance. And I'm gonna take advantage of that. But I need you with me, Pete. You're gonna heal the world.
Guys, this is my best friend, Harry.
Hey, good to meet you.
New job, huh? Still gonna have time for tutoring?
We'll figure it out. I didn't know there were bears in these woods. Hey, MJ, I have another name for you. Craven. He's here on some kind of hunt.
No, if you need me, I'm just a call away.
Lee, you don't know what you took from me.
All Miles talks about is how to be a better Spider-Man. How to help you.
What the hell's going on with Pete?
He's not himself. Go help him.
This was our dream. I'm not going to lose him.
We're going to heal the world.
All right, guys, and as you can see, that was the trailer for Insomniac's Marvel Spider-Man 2 with the drop date of October 20th, 2023. And as you can look by your calendars, it's not too far off. Now, of course, other news along was also given out with this that with the introduction of the next insertion of the Marvel Spider-Man series, that Sony is actually releasing a special Spider-Man PS5 console directly from their website. However, that won't stop the bots, but they can try. But no news yet on when that specialty console will be released. But Joe, I want to get your thoughts on this as I'm going to get pictures for the console. What did you think about this trailer? The whole thing of we're going to be seeing Harry Osborn, we're going to be seeing Venom, Kraven the Hunter. Does this deter you from playing the game? Does it entice you, or do you got questions?
Oh, no, I'm perfectly all right with this because I consume nearly all Spider-Man media or, Spider-Man adjacent. By the way, the Spider-Woman series is fantastic. Everybody needs to go read it. No, I am perfectly okay with everything because Venom has been a synthetic creature before.
Mhm.
That's been done in Ultimate Spider-Man and other animated variations.
Mhm.
Harry being Venom is not new. That's been in other animated variations. My biggest issue is that Pete still looks 5 to 10 years younger than everybody else in this cast,
Yeah.
especially now. Apparently, there's some bizarre controversy involving Miles' hair being the new generic black character hair. I don't understand that.
Well, they're gonna find something that
Clearly not black, so don't understand the thing.
It's
Okay, let me just ask this.
good. Good.
Is this the same as most black superheroes having electric powers? Is this like the new thing?
Kind of in the same bowl, but to me, when I looked at it, and from originally playing Spider-Man Miles Morales, I don't take everything at face value because again, this is a trailer. We haven't seen actual gameplay. We're not sure of how his hair is going to look, but even so, it's a little bit nitpicky. I mean, my thing is the game not going to have any bugs? Is it going to be exactly what we remember how the Insomniac games were? Is it going to play like the first Spider-Man or better?
Will Venom be playable?
Say what?
Said, will Venom be playable?
Right. So it's like that's the questions I'm more worried about because I'm gonna be honest with you. There's only been very few times that some video games have gotten black people's hair textures correctly, even though the technology is there to render it. At this point, it's like if I see it, great. If not, it's not going to stop me from playing.
Are we both were thinking of Horizon Zero Dawn 2?
Yes, still not going to stop me from playing. Or better yet, God of War Ragnarok, where the one of the characters, her hair was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was ethnic. I loved it, and I had no complaints. But with Miles, I'm okay with it either way because at least we're still getting him consistently in this game. But I also wanted to show this as well. This is the console that will be available on the PlayStation website. No record as of yet when it'll be released, but looking at it, it's got a nice little custom skin. I love the whole idea of the Venom play on the Spider-Man, the controller. It leaves a little bit less desired, but if you don't like, you can always go get skin for it. But no price on how much it's going to cost or whatnot. But again, check out the PlayStation Store because that's where you'll be able to purchase it from. Hopefully, you have a better chance than beating the bots. We shall find out. But speaking of PlayStation, guys, I want to bring this up because, again, this is rumored. What I mean by rumored is that there may be a prototype of the PlayStation 5 handheld that's out. And again, this is rumored. Let me stress this very heavily. This is rumored. This has not been confirmed by Sony. This has not been confirmed at all. But there is a certain influencer or performer out there with what they call a quote-unquote prototype, which, as you can see there, is what they're saying has the size of a PlayStation 5 controller linked to what looks like to be a tablet device. Now, again, it's been a while since we've seen anything from Sony, especially in the ways of the PSP, the PSP Vita, or the original 3000 model. Joe, I'm gonna throw this out there though because I gotta ask, with the wave of handhelds and the fact that mobile gaming is still a great thing and cloud gaming is still in its experimental phase, does Sony really need to move forward with actually coming out with a handheld of this caliber when we're used to more smaller sizes?
All right, let me just put it this best way now, Jack. No, Nintendo is like the metal. You can't beat the metal.
Pretty much.
I don't know why people wanting to try and, even going with the song. Mm-hmm. Everything tries to go against the metal, and it failed.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone thinks like if you're not an Android device or a Apple device, you're not going to compete with Nintendo.
At the same time, though, I mean, don't get me wrong. I get the idea of wanting to make things more handheld. I do. But PlayStation Now still works. And as long as I have a high-speed connection and that my PlayStation is connected somewhere, theoretically I can play anywhere, which is the same as this handheld. So
the other problem I see with this, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
The other problem I see with this is just a streaming device. Mm-hmm. We are not going to see exclusive games for this device.
Right.
This is purely so I can go play Horizon Zero Dawn on the can.
Yeah. But like you said, it's not proprietary. It's streaming. And if you're going to do that, then in my opinion, if you're going to stream, then at the same time, I might as well just use the gaming tablet I have now and just stick with the app because that works for me. But again, like we said, this is rumored. But if this is where Sony is going with this, I mean, I can understand how some may be up for this. But if you already have a handheld device already playing cloud gaming, I just don't see it. I don't see spending the extra money to get something that's just for streaming. Now, again, PlayStation could say that their Project Q could be more for handheld games. We don't know yet because news is still coming out. However, if this is the direction they're going in, I'm going to be honest, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. It's really going to be a no for me, just because I just don't see the allure. I mean, at least in the VR standpoint, there are games that you can play on the VR that are for the VR that you're not streaming from. That I can understand, but no, I really can't. But moving right along, guys, like I said, we do have a bunch of chairs before we get to our San Diego Comic-Con news. Mortal Kombat. Ed Boon did sit there and say, because, again, in the wave of SAG-AFTRA and that many actors and writers are on strike and cannot attend San Diego Comic-Con, for a lot of folks, it was a return back to the days where San Diego Comic-Con used to be for the nerds and geeks. I would never know. One day I would love to go there and experience it for myself, so I'm going to take somebody else's word for it.
I mean, Jim Lee even said comics have reclaimed Comic-Con.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said before, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I truly believe in the fact that as long as you can go somewhere and that people of all different ages, size, and shapes can enjoy fandoms together in peace and harmony, cool. I am more than okay with that. But it is what it is. But anyway, Ed Boon did say of NetherRealm Studios that he was bringing 3 trailers to San Diego Comic-Con. And this one, well, as Joe put it ever so eloquently in our group chat, Mortal Kombat now has the Dora Milaje. Here's the first trailer.
Umgadi are warrior priestesses, selected from the firstborn daughters of Outworld. From infancy, they are trained to defend the royal family.
I will prevail, Earthrealmer. This fight is more important to me than you can ever know.
Li Mei used to lead the Umgadi. It was on her watch that the princess's father was murdered.
Surrender if you wish to remain unharmed.
Let us pass, Tanya. The Empress and her family are in danger.
Are you so easily taken in by lies? Let's see if you still fight like an Umgadi.
My edge hasn't dulled, Tanya.
Once again, you prove incapable of protecting the royal house. Are you unwell, Princess?
I am fine, Tanya.
For you to hold the throne, we must keep your secret.
With Liu Kang's help, maybe they'll find a cure.
If he could have helped, he would have done so by now. We are victims of Tarkat. It disfigures, then debilitates. In time, it will turn us all into bloodthirsty monsters. Death is our only release.
Priestesses, in my heart, I am still Umgadi. I will always honor my vows.
Well, that's one way to do fireworks. So that was actually the first trailer that they released. Of course, pre-order, you get Shang Tsung and beta access. Now, of course, that's if you're wondering about the Ungadi, as I said before we started that trailer, Joe basically said, okay, so Mortal Kombat has Dora Milaje now, which is a pretty good comparison if you think about it. But I'm not against it that new characters are being introduced again. This is, for all those that don't remember, Mortal Kombat 1 is basically Fire God Liu Kang just reimagining the universe after Aftermath. So we are going to see some new inceptions of characters and some returning ones like Baraka, which, again, I am not mad at how they're doing Baraka's story, how they're kind of tying that to Melina now, which is, again, is very interesting, and yet Blind Kenshi is somehow still a part of it, or I should say a descendant. That's not actually Kenshi himself, but a descendant of that family. But Joe, what did you think outside of the Dora Milaje joke?
No, that actually is Kenshi.
Oh, they said it's Kenshi. Okay, I apologize.
Yeah, that's actually Kenshi. Well, okay. I mean, there's a couple of things. First off, we get the confirmation that Chameleon is in the game because she is briefly seen behind Tanya.
Yeah.
I have noticed there is some controversy with Tanya herself where people were wondering why she looks like somebody's aunt. I mean, you know, it's character design. Not every woman is going to be like picture a copy of Katana and Melina in body and face, just with a different color palette.
I was kind of getting Jade vibes, but okay. I was getting kind of Jade vibes from that.
The most important Mortal Kombat character ever was also confirmed. Darius is now back as a cameo.
Yeah.
God help us. I mean, this game would not be complete without Darius.
I'm still laughing about the firework fatality is what got me. But what were you going to say?
He'll more than likely be my main Mei Li or Li Mei.
Mm-hmm.
If I do get the game, if I don't just sit there and watch Maximilian do the entire story mode like I did last time and laughed. She looks to be right up my alley. I dig it. Like I said, definitely Dora Milaje vibes. I mean, you could just feel that Tanya is basically just Okoye, so.
Yeah. But I love the fact that they're really stressing the co-op, the co-op assist play.
Yeah.
They are really heavily stressing, which I thought Mortal Kombat, thank you for finally. I'm not going to say that because Mortal Kombat for the longest time, they did have a sort of semi assist in the past, but not to this extent. But they're changing up the gameplay, which, again, I have no complaints about. But, again, like I said, that's one of three. Ed Boon did tease that we would find out who was in the first Mortal Kombat pack. And this, basically, I'm just going to have this play as we are simply talking about it. So, as you can see here, guys, literally and truly, there we go. That's what I wanted. So, this basically is the trailer for the Mortal Kombat pack, which a lot of it kind of confirmed what we already know. By that being that for the first pack that's coming out, you will get to play Omni-Man, of course, as you can see there, which we did find out that J.K. Simmons will be voicing him. As you can see right there, you get...
I hate this Ermac design so much. Why do they continue to make this man
But you get Quan Chi and Peacemaker, along with... I'm guessing that's Cyrax.
No, that's Takeda.
Oh, that's Takeda. My bad.
And he is the only combat kid to carry over.
Ah, But you're basically getting those guys there for the first Mortal Kombat pack that will be released. And again, I'm not mad about that at all because you're still going to get in the premium edition, guys, just to pause this really quickly. For all those who are wondering, if you get the premium edition, you do get the Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage. You do get the 5 cameo characters, which we just discussed about, and 1 week early DLCL access. So again, depending on how you play for next-gen consoles, it might be worth it. I've been one of those guys, like, if you really want to play the character that badly, you're going to go ahead and play for the premium edition. But Joe did call it for a lot of these characters that were coming out. I'm not against it. I want to see how they do Homelander and Omni-Man. I mean, because they're going to have some interesting fight schemes to them. At least in my opinion. Ermac will probably be the same as he's always been. Quan Chi will probably fight like an older Shang-Chi. And I know you don't like the... I'll get it.
Why is he continuously a mummy? 11 had the best thing where it was the fusion of the Pharaoh Ninja. They had like him in the background of 11 the whole time. He wasn't playable in 11, but he had arguably the best costume. Just put a mouth guard over his face. I don't care. I'm just really tired of him being Dollar General Kun Ra or whatever he was from Killer Instinct.
Not Con Ra from Killer Instinct.
And also, where's all Quan Chi skulls? That man is contractually obligated to have at least no more than 60 skulls on his person at any time.
Budget increase?
I mean, Liu Kang's just a petty man then.
I mean, it could be a budget. It could be a budget problem. That's all I'm saying. Maybe it takes a lot to run a universe. But that's good. That's the first pack for Mortal Kombat. And again, the third Mortal Kombat movie, the third Mortal Kombat trailer we're going to show, guys, I have to stress this very heavily. Number one, it is Red Band. Now, I know for a lot of people thinking Red Band, no, it's only Red Band because it's animated. And like most animations, they do it until there's violence and there's language. So similar to Mortal Kombat, except there's going to be some words that we highly recommend that if you don't want younger viewers to watch, now would be a good time to mute us. But for all those of the older generation that's always wanted the Mortal Kombat that grows up with us, then Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match is definitely up your alley. Here's the trailer.
His name is Johnny Cage. His job?
Keep up the autographing.
Is acting.
Cut!
Yeah, actually, I'm really more into dramas.
You should leave the jokes to me, son.
But his passion is action.
I just want to know how you got so cool.
The truth is, I was bullied a lot in school.
You gonna cry, little baby?
My mom took me to the local dojo, and my life changed forever. Write this down. Kick first, be awesome, make money.
So cool.
From Warner Brothers Animation.
Everyone decent? Wow. Obviously, this is turning us both on. Can you feel that?
In a world where an evil cult threatens humanity.
Look what I have.
What is it?
Give me that fucking scroll!
Fist will fly. And heads are gonna roll.
Ew! Did you see that?
Yes!
She just jumped out and I spin kicked her head off.
Enough!
Oh, shit!
We need you for the Brotherhood.
This club sounds great. Where do I sign? Fuck you! What the fuck?
Joe McHale.
WWJCD. What would Johnny Cage do?
Jennifer Grey.
You still don't get it, do you?
I'm starting to.
And Gilbert Gottfried.
Fucking superheroes!
Fuck him up, Johnny!
Sorry about that.
I don't mind.
Either do I.
Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match.
Oh, is he dead?
I'm sure he's fine. See? He's fine.
You know, I'm not mad about this. I'm not mad about this. But as you can see, that was a trailer for Mortal Kombat Legends Cage Match. Will be coming direct to digital because I can't even imagine that being in the movie theater. I can't imagine that.
Why? We both saw The Flash in the theater.
True, and that was a doom ship from Jump Street, which you are completely all right on. But no, Cage Match looked like it's going to be great. I was definitely getting Far Cry Blood Dragon vibes from it just because of how it was done. I actually thought, I was telling Joe before we started this, I was like, I wonder if it was the same guys that came up with Kung Fury. It seems to be along the same lines. But no, I am definitely watching that when it comes out. Joe, what do you think?
I mean, I did the Patrick Nagel art style, but I was a fan of Moonbeam City. I think the thing that's going to make me buy it solely because I miss him so much is Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, yes.
Because this is, I think, his last work. Don't quote me on this.
I think it's his next to last. I think it's his next to last.
Yeah,
work.
this is like one of his next to last things or possibly last thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that reason alone, I'm going to buy it, other than the fact that it's Joel McHale, and I love Joel McHale. So why does he have either Urkel or Baxter Stockman Jr. as a sidekick?
I have to say, because I think they're sticking with the early 90s. I think they're sticking with that era. So that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Like the only logic I can come up with.
Which, by the way, I learned last week that the majority of the showing Baxter Stockman has been a black guy.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know that. I've only seen two things of him. Well, actually, only one thing of him being black. I did not watch the 2000 series because I watched one episode, and the fact that they say show as much as they do Smurf, immediately turned me off to that. So never watched that. Didn't really watch too much of the CGI series, although I hear it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I thought that Baxter Stockman was a white guy the whole time because I only saw the 87 series. And then, I thought they were just making fun of him with Baxter Stockboy from Rise of TMNT.
Mm-hmm. No
idea.
No, you're not the only one because a lot of people didn't know. Even myself. I didn't find out until many years later. I thought it was a white guy too. So you're not the only one. But no, I'm definitely checking that out once it's out because it speaks to me. But before we go into the Marvels trailer, I gotta ask Ubisoft one question. What the hell?
Did they cancel everything?
Yeah, what the hell? What I mean by that, guys, is that Ubisoft had a great game. If you did not know Immortals Phoenix Rising, first and foremost, it's available on Game Pass right now and PlayStation Now. If you have not played it, I highly recommend you should. It is probably, just as the title recommends, it is as close to Breath of the Wild as you'll get without actually being a Nintendo game.
So,
go ahead, Joe.
So sorry. I actually can speak to this. I've played this, and actually my little sister's beaten this completely. She has completed this game. We both agreed. This is what happens if Mel Brooks tells a Greek tragedy.
Yes. I 100% agree with that.
It's like, what if Mel Brooks sat there and just narrated Breath of the Wild?
That you would basically get Phoenix Rising, because between Zeus and Atlas, Jesus, between those two, but again, if you haven't played it, not to spoil for you guys, it's great commentary. It is fun to play. It was actually one of Ubisoft's sleeper hits. They did not expect Phoenix Rising to do as well as they thought it would, which, because of its success, would lead to Phoenix Rising 2. Unfortunately, Ubisoft has decided to cancel a sequel to Phoenix Rising 2. And all I could sit there and say is why. Now, of course, in the article, Ubisoft says because of budget cuts and multiple IPs out there that they're doing a lot of consolidating, which was really weak sauce because Ubisoft right now is trying to push Assassin's Creed Mirage. I'm not saying that's a bad game. I'm not saying that, when it comes to Assassin's Creed, with the success of Valhalla and Odyssey, the fact that they're going to remaster Black Flag, again, was still probably one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games out there was Black Flag. But to have something like Phoenix Rising do so well and not give it a proper sequel, that's why I'm saying Ubisoft, what the hell? Because I'm not sorry. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
It kind of had a pseudo sequel built within the game because if you bought the DLC, the Chinese DLC was just a whole secondary campaign, but it was the Chinese Pantheon.
Pretty much. And don't get me wrong, still fun, but it just, to me, it's like I don't get certain video game companies. If you have success, follow up on it. Santa Monica Studios, grab example. You gave us God of War. Then 5 years later, you gave us God of War Ragnarok. At this point, nobody is screaming for another God of War right now. Nobody's screaming for it. Even though the success of Ragnarok and the fact that everybody kept expecting a DLC or something like that, that's what I loved about Santa Monica Studios. They gave us complete games and said, look, we are giving you all of this in one game with no DLCs. Please enjoy it. Cool. So Ragnarok was an epic storytelling. Still one of my favorite games. Still go back and go play it. But it doesn't need DLC. But again, Ragnarok is now 2 years old. Ragnarok's now 2 years old. Nobody's screaming for another God of War game right now. So again, let's not say 4 or 5 years down the road that we may get another God of War game. I wouldn't be against it. But the point I'm trying to get to, guys, is just that Ubisoft really could have had a nice little series with Phoenix Rising going, but decided to go against it, and they try to cite budget cuts. Here's my thing, Ubisoft. If you're going to nix a game, tell us the truth. It came down to what you wanted to push because you thought it would make more money. Because you guys are so dead set on Assassin's Creed that it's ridiculous. And my thing is, if you're set on Assassin's Creed, then just admit it. Be set on Assassin's Creed. I can live with that. Honestly, I can live with the fact of being honest and saying, you know what? We're going to rock with Assassin's Creed. We think Mirage is going to do well. We don't think a successor to Phoenix Rising will do well. Let's just be honest about it. I can live with that. But to sit there and say that we're prioritizing IPs and saying that there just wasn't enough buzz for a second game, that to me is weak sauce. But Joe, what do you think?
No, it just kind of scares me that Ubisoft may slowly turn into just a secondary Activision, but only French, where their only game is their Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
I mean, we get some other things from them here and there. I mean, we get really good Mario. What are they? Mario XCOM games.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe their only two titles right now, or the
don't get me
Mario
wrong,
XCOM games and this. Because I mean, we're never going to see Beyond Good and Evil 2.
No,
I'm probably going to die of old age before that.
We barely got Far Cry 6, and I liked Far Cry 6. I love the story of Far Cry 6. But that seems to be what they're sticking with. They seem to be sticking with Assassin's Creed. They seem to be sticking with Far Cry. And if we ever get another Tom Clancy game, I'll be surprised. Which I know another one's coming around another one is coming around the bend. We know that. And not to say that Tom Clancy games aren't good, but like Joe said, they're slowly becoming a company who's only focused around a certain number of IPs. And that's not good. Especially if you pride yourself on diversity, which Ubisoft always loves doing in their Ubisoft forwards. They love to preach about diversity, but when it comes down to it, you basically just have 3 games.
Well, it could be worse. Could be Rocksteady. It only takes them a decade to put out one game.
Oh,
if we're lucky.
I have never seen a cult of Grand Theft Auto fans be like, we just want to see. And don't get me wrong, I get it. They put and I'm not knocking Grand Theft Auto because Rockstar was smart about doing GTA Online because you can add to it and get players into it. I get it. I understand it. It works. But to a certain point, tell these people whether or not you're doing GTA 6. Tell them or put them out of their misery. One of the two. because you keep on adding additions to Grand Theft Auto Online. It's almost like you guys have given up on making another game. But
at that point, Grand Theft Auto Online may just well be Mario Kart 8. We're never getting another Mario Kart.
Nah, I think they went as far as they can on Mario Kart. I can't see Nintendo outdoing Mario Kart 8. But again, that's why I'm saying what the hell, Ubisoft, just because you guys, if the game didn't do well, I wouldn't be as wound up about it as I am. But at the same time, it's like
it did good.
Yeah, it's like it did exceptionally well, but at the same time, you figured, why not? Just go ahead and nix it. But again, Ubisoft to me is much like Electronic Arts. They'll take a game that's bad and push it forward, or they'll take a good game, wreck it, and then scrap it like nobody remembers it. Don't believe me? Ask Anthem. But before we move on to the Harley Quinn trailer, Ryan Reynolds, I know, who is also a part of the strike, but since he put this out there, I think it's safe enough for us to announce this. So if not, SAG-AFTRA, we apologize, but we wanted to make sure that we stay within the rules. But since he put this out there, I feel like we can talk about it. So Ryan Reynolds is actually reviving two things that I never thought I'd see in this day and age. He's actually reviving Biker Mice from Mars and Alf. I did not have this on my bingo card of 2023. Biker Mice from Mars, if you're around the same age as me and Joe, it is one of the many nearest and dearest Saturday morning cartoons to our hearts. And Alf, let's be honest, unless you were born before, what's the cutoff? If you were born before 1994, you would not know what Alf is.
That's not true. He came back in Pog form.
Yeah, but Pog form. But again, these are two shows that Ryan Reynolds, with his own production company called Maximum Effort, which I still chuckle at, says that he wants to bring both these back and putting a new spin on these with Nacelle, which is the other company that's looking forward to bringing these back. I'm not against it. Biker Mice from Mars, to me, again, was a sleeper one. To me, it's like SWAT Cats. It's like SWAT Cats, Street Sharks, Mask. Oh, I keep going down the list of Saturday morning cartoons. But again, I'm not against that. And Alf was really can we say, Joe, honestly, Alf was like, I'm not going to say the budding era of television sitcoms, but we can say it was on the cusp of that.
Yep. By the way, I have no idea what the hell Biker Mice from Mars is.
Oh, I have to show you. I have to show you. But it is, to me, it's one of my favorite cartoons. But Alf, again, for all those that don't remember Alf, let me quickly show you a picture, because most folks will know who Alf is just by one picture alone. And for a lot of us, they're going to be saying, this is what you guys loved all nearly and dearly. Yes, because of the voice acting behind it. And to give you guys, to give you old to younger generations what I mean, I'm sorry, younger generations what I mean, this is Alf. And you're thinking it's a puppet. Yes, Jim Henson had quite the run in his heyday. And Alf was associated with one of his from his Muppet production. Again, a lovable alien who was quick-witted in one-liners. And I'm curious to see how that will work in today's society, because some of his one-liners was, I'm not going to say borderline, but they were close. But again, I am not complaining about that if Ryan Reynolds wants to bring back Alf, I'm not complaining. At the same time, if you want to know what Biker Mice from Mars was, it was literally, how can I put this? It is weird that they were crime-fighting heroes, but I have to keep myself from laughing. They basically, guys, look like this. And give me a second for me to pull this up. Yeah, so they look like this. So literally, it is guys who are just crime-fighting, cyber-enhanced rodents, as you can see. But they were lovable. They were fun to watch. And Ryan Reynolds wants to bring back this series. I'm not complaining. But I'm curious to see how he'll do that in today's age. I'm assuming they'll still remain. I'm hopefully it'll be an animated show and not a live action show. At least that's what I hope, because live action shows don't really have. I mean, animated shows transition to live action shows don't really have a good shelf life. Just saying. But shout out to Ryan Reynolds though. That man's out there doing the Lord's work. But speaking of things that I'm questioning, I have yet to see Harley Quinn. I know it's on Max right now. I have yet to see Harley Quinn, and somehow they've given the show a season 4. And here's a trailer for it.
Hi, my favorite little merry band of misfits. It's me, Harley Quinn, and you can stop salivating because season 4 is here. So strap in for more sex, more drama, more Bane, and more Harl Ivy. Like a lot more, because you weirdos are kind of obsessed with us. Anyways, love ya, bye!
Hey, babe, you forgot your lunch.
I'm at the LOD with your lunch!
God, we're cute.
So damn cute!
Good luck with your first day.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's motherfucking Harley Quinn! Jeez, sorry for trying to get a vibe going.
I'm poisoned.
There's my new CEO. Girl power and all that stuff.
Let's hire the skirt.
Lean in, disrupt, and things of that nature. I'm heading to the moon.
Hope the rocket isn't shaped like a giant penis.
Shit. I hope the clouds don't have a gag reflex.
I'm crazy.
You're a good guy now.
Okay, so we kicking his ass?
We're heroes. We update records and stay fit.
So boring! Yes, a crime! To solve!
No one gets in the way of me owning the game.
Hey, babe, I'm working right now.
Yeah, Harley.
If we're gonna make our new jobs work, we'd need to establish some boundaries.
What are you wearing?
A lanyard with a bunch of maps and QR codes?
Yes! Oh, call me when you're in the bathtub. I want to hear more about this fucking lanyard.
Harley, Jesus.
It's just too hard to integrate my new job into my old life. I want to party like we used to. Jugs out, rugs out, steal a car just to crash it into an even nicer car!
Oh, you got that edge still.
No killing!
That's on you guys for not telling me.
Oh, for dick's sake.
My bad!
What's that sound?
I'm pumping my calves. Women don't understand the pressures put on men's bodies.
So sticky!
Fucking gross.
You know what? It's not bad. Maybe I've been looking at this all wrong. That was the season 4 trailer for Harley Quinn that is on Max now. I'm so used to saying HBO Max, but now it's on Max. Joe, any thoughts on that? The look on your face.
Well, I think I know we hit peak Harley Quinn because they put Snowflame in this. If you don't know who Snowflame is, he is a one-shot villain who gets powered up by doing lines of cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Who incidentally killed himself from doing lines of cocaine. Look, people, it was the 80s. They were running out of things. But no, seriously, Snowflame is a real DC supervillain made to help, not propagandize, because that would be a good thing, bad thing.
Yeah.
To make those aware of what the effects of cocaine does.
So
Also, he's a recurring character on Linkara's atop the fourth wall sometimes.
It's
But
so funny, though.
as I said, we've hit peak Harley Quinn if we were using Snowflame in there.
Mm-hmm. I may have to go back and go watch it. Probably not with the kids, because I did not think it was that.
Oh, it is horribly not appropriate.
It is. I thought about saying maybe I don't need to let my sons watch it, because wow. I mean, I'll go back and watch it, but wow. But anyway, season 4 coming out. I'm gonna have to definitely go back and watch it. And also, I am catching up with the final season of Titans, so we'll be able to talk about it. I think Joe, you've already seen it, right?
I don't have HBO Max anymore.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we'll discuss that as far as when everybody's informed. So we'll do it that way. But yeah, Marvels. I'll tell you one thing. If you are the Beastie Boys, your residual check is going to look amazing right now. But here's the trailer for the Marvels.
Carol Danvers, prodigal child of the Milky Way.
Nick Fury, my favorite one-eyed man of intrigue.
How goes it out there?
You know, cold, no air, space.
Captain Marvel, the Annihilator. You took everything from me. And now I'm returning the favor.
What is happening to me? She's entangled our light-based powers. So we switch places whenever we use them.
Strong theory.
You can absorb light. I can see it. And Kamala...
Who's Kamala?
Hi. She can turn light into physical matter, which I have never heard of.
I could totally show you.
No!
She's targeting every planet we call home. I would never choose to bring anybody into this.
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe.
Oh my god, we're a team.
Higher.
Further.
Faster.
Who's that good kid, Gus?
I can't. Can you?
I got it.
Oh, the return of the Flurgan. The return of the Flurgan. As you can see, guys, that is the Marvels with a release date to theaters in November 10th. Where do we go with this?
Kittens. That's where we go with this. Flurking kittens.
Oh, I love the fact that Nick was like, you know what? Yeah, you took my eye, but you all right. And Kamala Khan was freaking out. That was funny. But no, I'm trying to see. Is it Dar-Benn? That was Dar-Benn, right?
Maybe there's still that shot of them all fighting Captain Marvel along with Carol.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if she's like a Skrull, or I mean, she's got an accuser hammer, so
yeah. So that's why I was
thinking it's Ronin's hammer, but
yeah, I was like, it could be Kree related. That's why I looked at him like the only person I can think of would be Dar-Benn. But again, speculating. I'm pretty sure as we get closer to November, we're gonna get more information about the Marvels. Why Photon may be ticked off at Captain Marvel, because again, that was in the script that what happened with her and her mom, that could have been a big thing, especially from Captain Marvel in the first movie. It's nice to see Nick Fury's back, even though we'll discuss Secret Invasion a little bit later, and its impact and the argument that is going on social media right now. But we'll get to that momentarily. But I want to watch it just because, number one, Kamala Khan is freaking adorable. I really keep hoping she gets another season of Miss Marvel. I hope she does. It's nice to hear in the movie. It's nice to hear in the movies. I still think that, she's still that MCU fan that is a superhero that is still an MCU fan. She's basically us. And of course, to actually see Monica Rambeau as Photon is always a great thing. But yeah, I got nothing else to add to this. I want to see it. Joe, what about you?
Oh no, I'm totally down for it. I cannot wait. We get an updated costume. It's interesting that Carol's new uniform is more in line with the classic Marvel uniform than any of Carol's uniforms, which I dig. Monica, I think that is her next wave uniform without the trench coat.
Yeah.
I think. Ms. Marvel, she's got her mutant powers, which we'll talk about that in a bit.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be real interesting.
I really am looking forward to this. This will be a bright spot for me. I can't wait for every single dude in a truck with a pair of sunglasses to immediately hate it and say it's female propaganda.
Oh, you know that's coming. You know it's coming.
We'll talk about that too in a little bit.
Let me tell you something about the woke you. There's always one. But cool. But speaking of always one, guys, we would be remiss if we don't show the final trailer, which again is shedding a lot of light because we need to laugh. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which won't be too far from now, because that comes out August 2nd. So
that's next week.
Yeah, that's next Wednesday. So again, here's the final trailer for it, and also some news. If you ever wanted a controller and pizza at the same time, man, we got news for you after this.
We have a very important mission for tonight. We must use stealth and cunning to infiltrate the human world and retrieve Go.
Okay, Batman.
Dude, what? I'm just trying to hype you guys up. Let's go!
From Seth Rogen comes a movie that crushes for absolutely every age.
Amazing. Insane. All right, tell me more.
It's effortlessly cool and visually stunning. It's the most fun you'll have at the movies this year.
That seems very dangerous.
You eat danger for breakfast.
Actually, I eat pizza with bits of waffles on it.
With the funniest cast ever assembled.
Surprise!
Yes, bro.
Enough.
Oh, man.
You can't stop us.
Lock and look. We're the only ones who can do this. I'm awesome. We're brothers. We fight together. We're just getting started.
Yeah, she sounded like a leader.
I do? Oh, I do! Oh, I sound like such a leader.
And you ruined it.
Ninja Turtles.
Remember, don't let any human see you.
Exclusively in movie theaters, August 2nd. Get your tickets now.
And I'm not mad about that. To me, Eric, the more I watch this trailer, the more I watch trailers about Teenage Mutant Turtles Mutant Mayhem, the more I'm just like, this is exactly what it should be. Now, this doesn't take away from the Michael Bay versions. I mean, they have their places in life. Huh?
Could it?
They have their places. Some people like them. There's been others that decided differently.
Names?
I'm not going to do that. Nope, not doing that. Anyway, that being said, Mutant Mayhem does come out August the 2nd. Can't say anything else to that except the other part of this. You ever wanted and again, I get advertising, okay? Domino's should be thanking its lucky stars because that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles single-handedly saved them, okay? I get that. Pizza Hut, same thing. Pizza Hut is marketing the hell out of Mutant Mayhem because Pizza Hut's been with the Turtles ever since the second movie. That being said, on my bingo card of 2023, who asked for this? Basically, guys, Microsoft has decided they're going to come out with a custom Xbox Series XS controller for Teenage Mutant Turtles Mutant Mayhem that will be designed to smell like a pizza. Who asked for this?
People that don't know what grass is.
I get the days of scratch and sniff. I get the days of, rubbing something to get a certain smell, and it brings euphoria. It's a fun little niche thing. But who's gonna pay an exorbitant amount of money just to have a pizza, just to have a controller with the scent of pizza on it?
Paul Logan.
Yeah, I can see that too. But this is also the same generation that had a Tide Pod challenge. That's why I'm a little bit concerned. As they say in here, quote unquote, it is designed to deliver the smell of the turtle's beloved meal to your game time. These exclusive Xbox wireless controllers come in with a built-in scent diffuser that is shaped like a delicious slice of New York pizza. A scent diffuser on a controller that you're playing.
I'm a head out.
That is an I'm a head out moment. That's an I'm a head out moment. You're exactly right. He literally just did head out. But here's the thing that I just don't get. And I get it. It's a marketing thing. It's a niche thing. I just don't see it. A scent diffuser, and this is me from the technical side of things. I'm like, you're putting a scent diffuser on a electrical device that is being held by hands. How can this not go wrong? I see it going wrong. I can't say it, but I can see it. But again, that's if you're into that type of thing. I'm good. If I wanted scents, I would just go to Yankee Candle and go buy one, light it up, and be happy while I game. Have a Zen-like thing while you're gaming, I guess. But hey, if you want a built-in scent diffuser that gives you the smell of pizza instead of ordering Domino's or Pizza Hut or whatever local pizza chain is next to you, go for it. Whatever floats your boat. But speaking of things that are floating the boat, guys, we do got a couple more trailers before we get into our San Diego Comic-Con announcements and what we thought of Secret Trail and all that good stuff. As we wait for the boys, which right now is set to be held indefinitely because of the strike, we understand. That's what we say. As we say here on Get Bit, we do support the actors and writers indefinitely. That being said, guys, Prime decided to go ahead and release their trailer for a spinoff on the boys called Gen V. And again, if you've seen the boys, this trailer is probably something you should not let kids watch. Here it is.
Being a hero is not about glory. It's about sacrifice.
Welcome to Godolphin University. Hey! We've trained the best and brightest young heroes since 1965. Godolphin is a safe space for you to thrive.
Like I'm just a kid.
Marie Moreau, you could be the first top-ranked freshman in history.
I think you meant to say first black woman in the 7.
I do what I wanna.
But you have a target on your back.
A few of us are going off campus. Let's have a good time.
I'm sexy, I'm free, and I feel vulgar.
I'm still drunk from last night.
Perfect. Just take a sip. Say Turbo Rush cures hangovers.
I wouldn't pour this on my Give It Cured Cancer.
There are dangerous, evil people at that school.
Everything is...
I exploded his
tag team explosion.
Wow.
Freshman class is savage this year.
Jesus. Okay. So
what I'm getting is this is what? An R-rated Sky High?
Pretty much. I mean,
yeah, hard pass.
I mean, I'll watch it just because Sarah Kripke, he's behind it. I love the boys. I know I'll be watching it, preferably without my children. But that series is going to come out September 29th. Really really curious to see what they go about since it's a spinoff of The Boys and that there's different powers. And as Joe so eloquently put it, it is basically sky high in the rated R section. So take it how you will. The last trailer we got, guys, is from a place I never thought I'd hear from again. Adult Swim and Toonami. As they are moving forward with a new anime called Lazarus. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of digging it. Here's the trailer. Okay, guys, and that was the trailer for Lazarus, which, again, more news will come out with Adult Swim. It was definitely giving me Cowboy Bebop, a little bit of Trigun vibes is the words I was going for. But I'm digging it. I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, we don't really have a lot of news on it as of yet. But as the release dates come out, we will definitely let everybody know. But again, it looks cool. But what did you think, Joe?
I mean, it's got Cowboy Bebop's director, Studio Mappa's doing the animation, so that's going to be good. Kind of reminds me of that one that's on Netflix right now about the supervillains.
Dude, Millerverse. I can't think of it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's got the really dance heavy intro or outro. Yeah. Anyways, that's what it reminds me of. I mean, I'm down. I'll give it a shot. I mean, I am watching all sorts of things right now, anyways. So
nice.
Okay. I mean, it can't be any more. Can't be worse than some of the stuff I've seen as of late. I mean, the most wholesome thing I'm watching right now is about a dude who got reincarnated as a vending machine.
Okay. You're gonna explain that. You're gonna explain that one after the
No, that's exactly what it sounds like. That is a whole isekai anime. So I died and got reincarnated as a vending machine in a dungeon.
Yeah, you're gonna send me the link to that one. But okay, that's gonna stuck in my head for a while. But anyway, so like I said, guys, that's really the trailer. So we did want to get to some news that we did get as we get to our comics, but again, we want to announce these as first, just because these were announced at Comic-Con. And I'm not surprised about it. The first thing we have from the Marvel side of things, guys, is that we did get announcements that Crisis on Infinite Earths and Watchmen Watchmen animated movies were announced. Of course, this does come from the panel that Crisis on Infinite Earths, which, again, I would love to wash the taste out of my mouth that what CW tried to do. But we are going to get an animated movie from that, as well as another one from The Watchmen, which, again, I am definitely not against, especially the HBO version. And again, let me also say this as well. The original Watchmen movie was actually very good. It was very good. It was very well done. I have no issues with it. The Watchmen, that was a short-lived HBO series. Again, very well done. So I am all for more Watchmen movies. I am all for more DC Infinite Crisis on Earth movies, as long as they're done properly well. But Joe, anything you want more to add to that?
So I'm just going to go ahead and spoil something that we were going to discuss later, but it can be summed up here.
Okay.
I watched Justice League War World, which is one of the first R-rated DC animated movies in quite a while. I know that's not true. I think we just had like a few.
Yeah.
But I sat there and realized this is an hour and 30 minutes for them to tell me Crisis of Infinite Earths is next.
Yeah. But go ahead.
It does give like 3 individual stories that combine into one. So we get Wonder Woman in the Old West taking on Jonah Hex along with Batlash.
Mm-hmm.
Batman, for whatever reason, is on a Conan-type question in Sekrith with Warlord. And Clark Kent is trying to stamp out a white Martian invasion circa 1950 with Captain James Faraday. That all leads into Warworld.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't bad until the very final act where it was literally just, all right, I can't tell if you're Harbinger or Wave Rider. And by the way, the movie ends with going, oh yeah, Infinite Crisis is the next movie.
That's all you said now. That's what you said, an hour and 30 minutes just to find out that Infinite Crisis is next. Damn. Okay, well, at least to know. I still want to. Like I said, I still give it a shot and take a look.
It's not bad, but it just falls apart in the third act. Like once you get through all 3 of the individual stories, which are all really well done, the moment you get the actual in-universe, which by the way, they do state that this Wonder Woman is the Earth 2 Wonder Woman from the earlier movie. This this universe does not have a Wonder Woman in it.
Gotcha.
Okay. But like I said, the third act just completely kills this movie, and it really just lets you know you spend an hour and 30 minutes for somebody to tell you that the next movie is Infinite Crisis.
Good to know. But also the other announcement we do, guys from the also from the San Diego Comic-Con. I'm curious about this one. I want Joe's take on this as well. The next crossover event. I know that we're getting to a crossover event, a big one that we'll get to in the comics. I'm trying to not go into it yet because my God, that's going to be a whole other discussion itself. But the other announcement that we did get from San Diego Comic-Con is that it has the next major crossover event called Gang War, where apparently every gang in New York has decided that instead of fighting superheroes, we're going to fight ourselves. And Spider-Man has decided to take it upon himself that he's going to form a unit to basically stop the gang war. As you can see right there, this is off the run of Zeb Wells and, John Romita Jr., whose art style is, how can I be so nice about this? Zeb Wells is an amazing writer. I don't think Romita Jr. can really draw Spider-Man that well, but that's just my opinion. It looks off. But again, my opinion, not gonna knock the guy. But yes, but Joe, do you want to go into more about Gang War and how Spider-Man's a part of this?
I think this is spinning out of the upcoming issue, which is Spider-Man Legacy issue 925, where this is the wedding between the Beetle and Joey Robertson.
Okay.
Or Robbie? Is it Robbie? No, it's Robbie's kid and Tombstone's kid are getting married, and something's going to happen at the wedding because it's a superhero comic book and it's a gang wedding. So if you guys don't know what's going on, I can't help you. In the grand scheme of things, I think this is just a rehash of an old story called Gang War.
Yeah.
With updated villains and heroes, and really what this is doing is all the street level heroes are going to be out and about doing stuff.
So that's going to be interesting. But also, before we get to Secret Invasion, because I think we need to get Secret Invasion, your take.
Have one more trailer before Secret Invasion. I just put it in the group chat.
Oh, okay, I'll grab
it.
I
dropped it and we forgot to put it in the queue.
Okay, I got it. While I get that up, and
because this was also announced at San Diego Comic-Con. It's just one of those. I think I watched it and just forgot to send it along to Will for the docket.
Yeah, you didn't. I got it. I got it.
Roll it.
Okay. Okay. I'm just
We'll just put it to you this way. Get ready to watch Great Grandpa Dynamite.
pretty much.
I've been trying to tell y'all Brett Clayton's coming to rob your bank.
Listen up and shut up!
And I came to put a bullet in him.
My name is Johnny Black. I am no gentleman and I am no preacher.
I thought I would join you for breakfast. Hallelujah.
That man is not what he pretends to be. Didn't the Bible say to turn the other cheek?
I don't know. I mean, probably. Yeah.
I said stop.
Stop me. But it also said you could hit a bully with a slingshot. And this here's mine.
I'm crack shot, Mom.
Well, now you just shot.
I think ain't no preacher at all.
False prophets rose among the people.
You know this vile man, Reverend Fairman?
Reverend Fairman?
I'll be Reverend Fairman, and you'll be my deacon.
Now, why in God's name would I agree to do something like that?
There's oil been found on the property.
Hallelujah. This town is about to come into a whole heap of money.
We must arm ourselves and prepare for the worst.
I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. Let's go.
I say a life worth living is a life worth defending.
I was beginning to think I lost you to another woman.
If you have unforgiveness in your heart, then you are shackled to your past.
Put me down!
Say, turn it loose. Turn it loose.
Turn it loose!
If you don't drop your guns by the end of this sentence.
That wasn't a complete sentence.
Oh God, that guys was the outlaw Johnny Black. The might as well be the sole successor of Black Dynamite because wow.
I'm waiting for the end of the movie, just like I'm changing my name to Dynamite.
You know it's coming. That's gonna be in theaters September 15th. Oh, I was getting Blazing Saddles vibes from that too. I was like, just good God. Yeah, if you know Black Dynamite, then Outlaw Giant Black is gonna be right up your alley. Oh God, I'm trying to do this without crying right now. Oh, okay. So I was gonna ask Joe about his opinion on this because this also was announced at San Diego Comic-Con. You know, post the war with the Punisher versus Daredevil, that Frank Castle is kaput for now. However, the world still needs punishment. Enter Joe Garrison, the new Punisher. As you can see there, Joe Garrison is a former S.H.I.E.L.D. operative who has now taken on the role of the famed vigilante with a new line coming out very soon. But here's some of the still shots for the Punisher, and I'm going to be honest. I'm not against it because at least they're keeping with the continuity of Frank Castle still being dead. This isn't the first time Frank Castle's been dead. It's not. He somehow, some way always finds a way to come back. But now that a new person's taking on the role, it's just going to be interesting to see where they go with this, besides with the new suit. Looks like a little bit more aforementioned guns and just a different look. But Joe, what do you think about this? You know, is it worth an issue when it comes out, or you think we should just wait till Frank comes back?
I mean, I'll give it a shot. I want to see if Frank comes back with laser angel holy pistols like he did that one time.
Oh, the resurrection.
Or if he comes back with Frankencastle again.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I will say that. But
no, wait. Technically, since he's dead, doesn't that start his road onto becoming Cosmic Ghost Rider?
It should, but I don't know if they're going to go that route again.
Yeah.
But this new volume of Punisher is being written by David Prepos, who wrote Savage Avengers, and drawn by Dave Watcher from Planet of the Apes, with Rod Reese handling the cover art. So
yeah, that's actually really good writing team. Savage Avengers was consistently good, even when they had that hard shuffle they had to do because the rights to Conan reverted.
Yeah, but either way, I'm gonna give it a fair shot because I mean, Punisher is one of those ones I love to read right up there with Ghost Rider, so I'm willing to give it a shot. But speaking of shots, before we get to Secret Invasion, Joe, you've seen Barbie, right?
This is true.
So I know I just gotta ask, sir, just from a standpoint, what did you think of the movie?
I laughed till I cried.
Was it exactly what I thought it would be? Just literally making fun of himself?
It is pure satire, nonstop. I can say the statement Mojo Dojo Casa House, and 80 people, at least the majority of the audience, will know what I'm talking about.
Gotcha. Well, the thing about Barbie is it's already outdid itself. It's actually already made half a $500 million in sales. Or is it $500 million? I think it's $500 million. I think it's at 500 right now.
So the thing to know, not a children's movie. This is not meant for younger children. Also, you should know that I have seen less pink at breast cancer and awareness rallies than I am seeing at theaters currently.
Okay, my bad. It's 200 million. So right now, since its inception, it's made 200 million at the box office.
I think that's locally or domestic. I'm not sure about worldwide gross.
Worldwide, it's over 500 million. So
yeah, this is going to be $1 billion easily. Like, Barbie means too much for too many people. Like, how do I talk? Like, they cut so deep that we meet Barbies that are discontinued.
Okay.
Kens that make no sense, like Sugar Daddy Ken, where everybody just got immediately grossed out, and then he actually has to go, no. My dog's name is Sugar, and you see a small little dog, and I am her daddy, named Ken, Sugar Daddy Ken.
So they really knocked up the satire. Okay.
We also get to see Magic Earring Ken, which was, I believe, made to help counter the gem onslaught.
Okay.
And someone may be a He-Man figure trapped in Barbie world, and I'm not going to spoil who.
Oh, wow. Because, I mean, I was one of the ones when we watched the trailer with me, you, and Chris Fury. We all watched it together. And I was like, it was initially for me, and it wasn't supposed to be. Because, again, nobody knew what to expect from
no, it's for you, too. It's for you, too.
I know. I'm just saying that at the time when we showed the trailer, I was like, are we really going this route? Because so many people were like, well, I didn't think the Barbie movie was going to be this. Was the trailer not a dead giveaway?
No, actually, it's really not.
Oh, so it goes beyond what the trailer was doing.
Way beyond.
So it's a sleeper. Gotcha. I may still give it a fair shot, but what kills me is I have never seen, and again, we try not to be too political on the show, but certain individuals that unfortunately live in the same state as me and Joe do, who have a podium and a platform, and I've never seen grown men complain about a Barbie movie. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to direct traffic to him. But my God, this man went on a tirade about the Barbie movie and how it affects America.
And how fake is it? Because he was at the theater I saw it at. Mm-hmm. We saw him interacting with the audience dressed fully as a Ken from a sequence in the movie, laughing and having a good time in the theater, and then immediately get grumpy face so you can take that one photo.
Crazy, isn't it? I just thought to myself,
dude is so unbelievably fake.
Yeah. I mean, again, me and Joe know exactly who the guy is talking about. If you're in Tennessee, if you're in Tennessee and you watch his show, chances are you know who we're talking about. But the fact of the matter is that he went on a tirade about this, and then other grown men. This was just about as bad as Little Mermaid. Where guys,
I think the other thing it was publicized for is because there's a map for like 3 seconds and it says the South China Sea rather than the whatever actual ocean it is.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with my oceans, people. Leave me alone. No one remembers 5th grade geography when they're 40.
Pretty much. But no, it's like it amazes me that the level of, because again, for what I've been told, everybody, Joe included, that has seen this movie have told me it was funny as hell and I need to go see it. Okay, cool. We all have equal liking taste, so I'm willing to give it a shot. But to go on tirades about, well, I can't believe they did this to Barbie. Okay. You do understand that the whole idea, the premise of Barbie was the fact that she had multiple jobs, multiple homes, different cars, different professions, and wardrobes to match. And you're mad about a satire movie? That's kind of saying a lot.
Oh, fun fact. This does tie into Secret Invasion.
Oh, I gotta ask. How does it tie to Secret Invasion?
Gavik is one of the Kens. Gavik is lifeguard Ken.
Wow. I'm not gonna knock that man. Make your money, sir. Make your money.
Because Ryan Gosling, we learned in the movie, is Beach Ken. He doesn't know anything but beach.
Nice. See, at least having fun with it. I can respect that. But again, it sounds like it's a fun movie to watch. Maybe if I have some time, I hope I can get to see it. But also, another movie Joe saw, Disney's Haunted Mansion. Sir, I gotta know your thoughts on it.
It was better than the Eddie Murphy movie.
With Owen Wilson, Rosario Dawson, Lakeith Stanfield, Danny DeVito, and I cannot think of the other 3 actors that are showing up.
Tiffany Haddish.
Thank you.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Jared Leto.
Thank you. There we go. But again, I have to ask because I have yet to see it myself. The original Haunted Mansion to me was okay. I was kind of wondering why they decided to do a remake. Let's see, Haunted Mansion. Was it 5? Was it 5 or 6 years ago? Might have been 6. But I was wondering how it would play. So you said this one was definitely enjoyable?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a step up from the Eddie Murphy one.
Mm-hmm.
It's about as spooky as maybe, Hocus Pocus 1.
Okay.
I mean, you're not exactly going to be seeing like terrifying things. Yeah, like I said, you're not going to see super horrifying things. There are definitely some creepy moments, which, even for me, it's like, well, that's surprisingly creepy.
Okay.
But, it was enjoyable. It had a nice thing to it. They really like to let you know that they own Marvel because that kid has a very impressive Marvel action figure collection that you see very prominently throughout the movie.
Oh, so it's flexing. So it's flexing on the background side.
Oh, yeah. Like he takes out like, now here's the troops. And he's putting out like Namor, Captain America, Black Panther. It's like, just promote those figures, kids.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna take that a shot. The one thing I'll add, guys, is that of course, Invincible, we are still waiting on episodes for that to come out. But Amazon Prime decided to go ahead and release a Invincible Adam Eve episode. Now, this is kind of running concurrently with Invincible itself as far as that storyline. I won't go too much into it, except that it's definitely worth watching. Even though it's only one episode, it's about an hour. But hey, it's a nice little hors d'oeuvre to have before we get to the second season of Invincible. But if you haven't checked it out, if you've been on the fence about it, I highly recommend that you do. Can't wait to actually see Invincible when it comes out. But Adam Eve for its episode. I guess you could say for its origin story of Adam Eve was very well done. So again, I thought it was cool. But before we can really get into comics, we do have to talk about the elephant in the room. Some people loved it, some people hated it, some people just don't understand that it was a spy movie. Spy movie is in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, not spy movie as in James Bond. I am talking about the finality of Secret Invasion. Now, we are going to talk about it in its entirety. If you have yet to see it or have yet to see the final episode and do not want to be spoiled by it, now is the good time to either mute us or come back to us in a few minutes because we are going to talk about it. and its implications in other MCU movies and television shows. That being said, guys, to give a quick synopsis of the final episode, of course, Nick Fury was told to bring the harvest to Gravik at his base operations, which is basically at a nuclear fallout area. Of course, Samuel L. Jackson did go with it, did provide the harvest, which we did find out was the DNA of almost every superpowered being, including Carol Danvers, including Captain America, Proxima, Groot. I mean, it's an entire list, but understand it's basically that. Now, of course, on the other side of things, the president is under attack because of a threat there. So, of course, at the time, we knew Rhodey, who was a Skrull, was trying to move him, but Nick Fury pretty much outsmarted him, as the Nick Fury that was at the nuclear fallout was actually Talos's daughter, who was already a Skrull in some sense, but now a superpowered Skrull in which Gaia and Gravik did have a battle in which she was victorious and really put Gravik down in a brutal ass way. I'll give him credit for that. While Samuel L. Jackson on the other side was trying to convince the president that Rhodey next to him was a Skrull, eventually killing the Skrull at the moment where I guess Skrull Rhodey decided that it was a good time to break out. As they were going to nuclear fallout place, they did find that it was more of a Matrix server farm. What I mean by that is we did get the answer that we already knew along, that yes, Rhodes was there. Also, what's his face was there too. I forgot his name already.
We'll just go with Martin Freeman.
Yeah,
I think he got taken during Wakanda Forever.
That's what I'm thinking too, because that's actually the question that's going to be coming up. Because we did see him get released. We did see some other key figureheads, of course, the head of the UN and others get released as well. What was at the basement was the most shocking, because that was all the people they supposedly quote unquote freed that they were actually using to replace and become their Skrull army. In the end, Nick Fury was going back to Saber, wanted to take his wife with him to be the delegate as the Kree and Skrull were beginning peaceful negotiations. The president, on the other hand, after being his life saved, had decided to declare war on Skrulls, in which militias were being created to hunt down Skrulls, and either whether they were correct or incorrect, bodies started dropping. So, with that being said, that's exactly where Secret Invasion is there for now. Understand that it does not end. It's there for now, which a lot of people thought, well, that was it. I said, well, to argue that, it's not an ending. It's more like to be continued. Because again, Nick Fury is understanding that, he's kind of owning it, because I love what Gravik said during when he thought he was talking to Fury, where he sat there and said, I followed you. I killed people for you. I did this, the premise that you would find our people at home and you abandoned us. You basically pimped us. And I was like, that line hit hard. Because at that point, Fury had to realize that he did not keep his promise, that yes, the Skrulls still don't have a home. At the same time, now that Gaia is still out there, and again, she may be joining the British side of the world, which tells me, are we going to see the British covert team, the British version of the Avengers, which I would love to see. I would love to see it actually happen. But it does answer some questions. Is Maria Hill actually dead? Concerning the fact that
do you mean Strike or do you mean Excalibur?
It might be Strike. I would love to see Excalibur, but I'm thinking leaning more towards Strike. But it's a question. I don't know if they're actually going to pull that trigger. But with Maria Hill, but again, there's some questions out there. And I'm going to direct these to Joe as well, and to you in the comments that are listening to this, because at the time that you're seeing this, you probably have seen multiple discussions. Number one, when was Rhodey picked up? Because as you see him in the show, he is in a hospital gown. He does not have the ability to walk without those leg apparatuses. And a lot of people are sitting there saying, well, he had to be nabbed in Civil War after the crash when Vision shot his flight power suit. Or it had to be post-Endgame. Now, however you feel on this, it's healthy discussion. It really is. But for me, I'm going to be honest, he had to be nabbed after Endgame because, and I point this out, and I have to give respect, definitely a shout out to Hellspawn Cosplay for using logic. Number one, Rhodey was bleeding in Endgame. And if he's bleeding red, not purple. So therefore, a scroll couldn't have been under the body of what used to be the Avengers Center that was filed on top of him. So if he was picked up at any time, it would have to be Endgame, which I can understand. However, as Joe said, in Martin Freeman's case, his character had to be picked up after Wakanda Forever, just because that would make the most sense, considering the fact that he is labeled as a fugitive of the United States government. He was escaping with the Midnight Angels at the time, as Okoye and her second took on the mantle. So it would make sense that he would have to get nabbed somewhere in between that. But also the third question, is Maria Hill actually dead? And
no, that one's young.
So you think that one's a red herring?
I mean, I don't know what a small child in a pup named Scooby-Doo has to do with anything. But no, I think she is dead. I definitely think Martin Freeman got taken during Wakanda Forever. I would have to go back and look at least Captain Marvel to see what color they bled there. Because I think the purple thing, and this is not to crap on Demetrius's theory, I think he probably has the strongest thing. But it's one of those, we need to go back and see what color they were bleeding in Captain Marvel, because the purple thing could be specifically for Secret Invasion.
Could be.
So if that's the case, then that could be, it's just one of those, oh, well, they bleed purple to distinguish their blood from our blood, just for this series purposes. Because if they bleed red blood in Captain Marvel, then this is just an oversight on their part, and then, yes, Rhodey would have been taken during Civil War.
Yeah, that is a fair point to go back and watch Captain Marvel and see what color blood they were bleeding. So that does make sense. Actually, yeah, there was purple. It was purple in Captain Marvel.
Was it purple in Captain Marvel?
Because what's his face died. Because when he got stabbed. So when he got stabbed by the scroll, the other way around. When Jude Law stabbed the Skrull character, the Skrull's blood was purple. So yeah.
Okay.
Yes, that is right.
Okay. This is one of those things where I can't remember. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, was it red back then and it's purple now just for distinguishing purposes?
Yeah. But that's where I'm just like, because I'm still on the fence. I don't think Maria Hill's dead. I think not because they don't want to get rid of her anytime soon. I think Kobe Smother and just to cheat, I was like, let me see if she's still in a contract with Marvel, because if she is, then either she's coming back in some form, or this was all that she was a Skrull from Jump Street, or I even dare I say another life model decoy. I doubt we'll probably see one since Coulson, but it's possible.
Well, I mean, remember they kind of retcons and stuff, because remember the original timeline, and don't quote me on this, I may be entirely making this up, but wasn't supposedly the two that got blipped originally was Talos and his wife?
Yeah.
Posing as Fury and Hill, and Fury never got blipped, and now it's been retconned to know they were always the ones?
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So it'll be interesting. But
so no, that means Rhodey got blipped. Rhodey got yanked somewhere during the blip.
Had to be.
Because was it Endgame or the final battle of Wakanda?
That when Rhodey got blipped?
No, when Rhodey got yanked. I don't think Rhodey was one of the ones that got blipped.
No, he wasn't.
Sam got blipped.
Sam got blipped, but Rhodey didn't. But I'd still say it's got to be somewhere after Endgame. It has to be somewhere after Endgame because it's just the way it fits. That to me, at least to me, like I said before, which
I will go as far as to say he got yanked while being in the hospital recovering from the battle. So the scroll is the one that attended the funeral.
Possible. That is possible to do that. But that kind of leads into the next thing because Armor Wars. That is.
Well, hold on. There's one person that was not in this that we thought would be in this no problem. So I want to know what her status is now. Where's Sharon Carter? Because everybody, like, what she was acting in Falcon Winter Soldier, was like, scroll.
You know, that's a fair point. She could still be in Madripool.
She's probably going to be in Thunderbolts.
Oh, yeah.
Now that they're adding her to the Thunderbolts team.
Oh, you already know that. You know she's going to be in Thunderbolts. You know that all too well. But that does kind of lead to my next question, though, because it leads into the next MCU television series, Armor Wars. So now that we know that Rhodes, first and foremost, has been impersonated, now is uber paranoid. What does that say going forward in the Armor Wars? Because now it's going to be like, you can't help but think that the Secret Invasion is not going to have an impression on all MCU projects going forward. You can't help but say that. Because it is going to focus on the fact that everybody has Stark technology. I'm not sure who the enemies are going to be yet, but we are getting a Rose right now who might be a little bit cynical, more cynical than he usually is. So I just think that, you know, going forward with him post Secret Invasion, it's going to make Armor Wars a lot more interesting to watch. To me, that is. But again, overall, guys, to me, and I'll toss over to Joe before we see if there's any news left over before we get to comics. But overall, to me, guys, Secret Invasion was like Andor for me. Loved it. It was definitely different. It was a spy thriller. It showed Fury in a way that we don't really get to see because sometimes it's overshadowed by other MCU characters. But overall, I loved it. I think it's great. It's not an ending. It's right now, like I said before, it's to be continued. And again, I'm just curious to see what happens in Armor Wars. Just because with Rhodey kind of coming back into the main stage, I'm just curious to see how his character is going to take from that. But Joe, any other thoughts on Secret Invasion?
I mean, they're at a good stopping point for it. I don't know where else we're going to be using the scrolls until we get to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
There's really no other place to like put them other than, you know, you only have two outlets now, and really that's Ms. Marvel and the Fantastic Four, unless Thunderbolts is being made to also be a scroll extermination squad by the U.S. government.
I wouldn't be surprised because
I'm not either. They were basically a scroll kill crew at one point anyways. Let's not forget how Norman Osborn came into power.
Pretty much.
But, you know, it's just one of those things. I just don't know when we're going to be really using them again. Mm-hmm. It's going to be one of those a little goes a long way scenario. Also, Emily Clark is now the strongest character in the entirety of the MCU.
Pretty much.
Supposedly.
I mean, she didn't give her powers. I mean, she didn't give it up. And she has almost every ability. She's basically a walking ultimate. Which,
by the way, I sat there and watched this. They really just got to introduce the Fantastic Four because they had all of them. Mm-hmm. Like the Extremis is there to simulate Johnny Storm's fire powers, just give the fire glow. They use Korg for the thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know what power she used when she went invisible for a hot second.
That was a new thing because I did not see anybody's powers up there that can mimic concealment. But
that's one of those like, whose power did she have? That was it supposed to be teleporting or something? I'm trying to think of who it was, and it's like no one's had that ability in the MCU to my knowledge.
Pretty much,
not even the Eternals. No, but supposedly this was taken from everybody at
some point.
Endgame at the final battle where they just scooped everybody's DNA off that battlefield.
Which I would say is impressive.
Supposed to be Quicksilver speed?
You know, It's hard to say. It really is.
We're using Groot to simulate Reed's stretchiness. We get that, but it's just one of those. I literally sat there for a moment. It's like, let me rewind this. Maybe it's super speed, or maybe it's illusion or something. Right. It's like, no, she just straight up vanishes and rematerializes somewhere else. This is not magic. This is not rings or motions or, Italian hand phrases like I'm doing right now. Like, that's just straight up Sue's power.
Right. No, it's a fair point. So it still leads to the fact of what it possibly could be, which I guess it was left that way just to be up to interpretation, or the fact that we're really covering up a plot hole here. One of the two. But either way, Secret Invasion was definitely great. But yeah, with that being said, sir, any news we have before we move on to comics?
No, I think we covered everything outside of everything going on at San Diego Comic-Con right now. I mean, we do get the news that Lower Decks starts up in September. Star Trek to help celebrate San Diego Comic-Con did release two episodes this week, one of them being the Lower Decks crossover.
Nice.
With directed by Jonathan Frakes, William Riker, or for those of us that know him from our youth, Xanatos. Did direct the Strange New Worlds crossover with the Lower Decks animated series. It was everything I wanted. The only thing I could ask is that Tindy and Rutherford also went with Boimler and Mariner into the live action world. But it's one of those, they probably did the two characters that voice actors that look closest to their characters.
Uh-huh.
Although Tindy's an Endurance, so it's not too hard for me to imagine somebody in green makeup and head antenna.
I still laugh about the Riker. Just the Riker. Riker.
Or he just says Riker and hops on the saddle.
Yeah, I was like, anybody who has watched The Next Generation, we all, for the longest time, me included, I used to sit like that. Whenever I got into a chair, I pulled a Riker.
So actually, the best part about that is if you go to the Ready Room, which is the Will Wheaton minis show, which each thing, they just have a good long discussion with Jonathan Frakes and Jack Quaid about him doing the Riker.
He's like, was that
Jack Quaid just flat out says like, "Oh, I wasn't doing Riker. I was just doing Jonathan Frakes."
Yeah. He's like, he's like, was that impromptu? Yeah. That just stuck. It's just like, I did it one time and it just stuck. And so every time I sit down, I'm like, we all did the Riker, sir. You taught us well. But no, I still need to finish. I still got to catch up on Strange New Worlds. It's gonna hurt.
2 episodes before the musical episode, Starbase Rhapsody.
It's gonna hurt my heart when Discovery has its final season. Damn. Although Picard had me crying. Picard final season had me crying. So
I am actually currently reading the new the new Star Trek Strange New Worlds book, The Lost Frontier.
Yeah,
which takes place right before the first Gorn episode because Hemmer's still alive.
Yeah,
it is hilarious.
Nice, cool. That's gonna be thinking about we need to get my old shit back. See, I cannot be watching Picard late at night, and I'm supposed to be. Oh, give it to Jory to keep the Enterprise D alive because Worf blew up the E. That was still funny. Everybody looked at Worf. I did not do that. All righty. So as Joe's getting up the comic, guys, again, we still want to know your opinions on everything that we talked about. Of course, in the comic book field right now, let's just say we're waiting to get that specific one. But Joe, I see you're up, sir. So feel free to take it away.
Yep. All right. Coming in from last week, we're going to be looking at Radiant Black number 25. This is the start of the Catalyst War. This is what all of Radiant Black's been building to. The existence is here, and it's up to the Radiants to stop it. This is written by Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark. Pencils by Marcelo Costa and Eduardo Fregato with inks by Marcelo Costo and Paulo Daniel Santos. Or that's inks, and colors by Rod Fernandez and Raul Angulo. This also starts the divergent timelines in Radiant Black. So what I mean is every A and B cover a slightly different story because depending on which one you get, only one person now has the Radiant Black power. If you get the A covers, Nathan is the Radiant Black and Ethan is running support, where if you get the B cover, Ethan is Radiant Black and Nathan is running support. And they do say there are differences because it is true. Nathan is still at base level Radiant Black, while Ethan does have access to the powered up caped form, which he just puts his God mode form. So there are going to be slight differences. Basically, this is just the invasion has started. We set out the stakes. We get to see all the existence robots. And apparently the yellow robot for Radiant Yellow has other ideas about the invasion.
Interesting. Although the yellow, I felt bad for Radiant Yellow. It's like, how in the world do you predict futures that bad to the point to where your robot companion goes, nope. It's just a whole pullback into the, you're not needed anymore. Just damn. But no, it was a long way. It was a long way for them to get to a decision point because the guy kept on saying, look, the longer you take to choose, the chances we're not going to come out of this alive. And finally, he got like, okay, you finally made a decision. Cool, we can move on from here. But it wasn't, I kind of dig it.
I did too. I am going to be reading the Nathan version. My sister's reading the Ethan version. So it'll be interesting to compare notes. I mean, I'm still digging it. Radiant Black is still one of my favorite books out of this thing. I mean, it's running the only thing that's getting close to it is No One. And that's just because No One has been consistently good so far. The other two companion books are really good. The Dead Lucky and Rogue Sun has still been fantastic, but like Radiant Black and No One has just been like top notch. They also, we are getting Inferno Girl Red Volume 2. That is going to be up on Kickstarter soon.
Nice.
So there's that. Hopefully they'll have a helmet tier again.
Well, they have the. Well, they
moving on over to DC. We got Night Terrors Book 2. This is written by Joshua Williamson, art by Giuseppe Camincoli, Stefano Nisi, and Caspar Wingard. Colors by Frank Martin and Caspar Wingard. Letters by Troy Peter. Look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I am really not paying attention to this book too much. Or this story in general. I don't care. The only thing that's keeping me reading this right now is they brought back one of my favorite superheroes, unfortunately, as a zombie, in Wesley Dodds Sandman. I don't care that this is basically just a really cool pseudo horror book for Dead Man to do stuff in. I am purely here for it, and that's it.
I'll be honest, it's not bad. I do see where they're going with the story as far as Dead Man trying to keep Batman's body alive, trying to keep, letting Sandman console story about the story about the whole idea behind the Nightmare Stone. And, really it was the part of a one-person cult, and that, the last surviving cult member and what happened to them. But again, it's hard to take Insomnia. It's hard to take Insomnia seriously because he's doing the same things that Dr. Destiny would do.
Although, on top of that, they really shot themselves in the foot with the last issue when Dead Man possesses Insomnia, and he's just like, oh, you're just a dude.
Yeah.
Like, you really shoot yourself in the foot when your main dude is literally just some dude who happened into powers.
That's pretty much what it is. At the same time, don't get me wrong, the story is still nice to keep up with. And of course, the other terrors out there I still waiting for Joker and Poison Ivy, and for not really too fond of Ravager, but again, we'll follow that for continuity. But no, it's not a bad story. But like you said, you kind of lost your edge when you sat there and said, "Oh, Insomnia is just a person," and now Insomnia and Deadman are kind of psychically linked. And what happened to Red Tornado? That was just messed up. But I didn't mind it. It's different, but like you said, it's kind of hard to keep that interest up when they've already spoiled the plot.
Yeah, like I'm only here for Wesley Dodds. The thing that still bothers me about all this is, at some point, Morpheus has to step in and just go, "What the hell, guys?"
You would think so. I'm really surprised about that, but you would think so.
Yeah. As soon as the thing wants to cooperate with me. Next up is Batman Beyond Neo Gothic. This is written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lanzing, art by Max Dunbar, colors by Sebastian Chang. Okay, so since this is a new #1 for Batman Beyond, I thought this would be a good jumping on point for new readers like me. I was wrong. I was so terribly wrong. You have to have read all the other Batman Beyond to know what the God's name is going on in this book. Like, I didn't even realize Bruce had died of old age by now in this book. Like, you figure it was going to happen sooner or later, but like, I figure since this is #1, this would be a jumping on point. It is not. Oh boy, it is not. Like, Terry's was someone named Beam. I thought that was Dana until the phone call with his mom, and the mom's who's living in Metropolis like, "Oh yeah, I saw Dana at the Meteors game. You know, she still really cares about you." And he's like, "I haven't talked to her in so long since Bruce died. We are very different people now." It's like, are you married to? Then of course I'm also thinking of that one Justice League episode. It's like, no, we're probably not married to her in this one, but like, who is Beam?
So
why don't I think about any of this? Like, did you catch on to any of this?
To be honest, I didn't get this in the list, so now I have to go back and read it.
Like, he goes down into old Gotham, and this ends with him fighting a super future version of Killer Croc, which they're now deeming as King Croc. But like, that was the biggest disappointment. I bet if you have been keeping up to this point, this book is great. But since I wanted to try and jump on with this, that was a mistake, and I couldn't get into it because I do not know what's going on.
You know, I'm going to do some research on that. I'm going to have to go back and research that because I haven't read Batman Beyond in a while. But yeah, I'm going to have to give that a fair. I'm going to have to go back and see where they decide to jump off and then come right back to Neo Gothic. But I'll give it a shot. I'll have to come back and give my review on that.
Yeah. Moving on over, we got Avengers #3, written by Jed McKay, the man who remembers everything. Art by C.F. Vila, colors by Federico Blee. They are taking on the Impossible City and some group of people, aliens that are attacking across the world, and it's the Avengers responding to everything that Kang has been telling them about to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
And this is just a big old fight issue, really, in the grand scheme of things. It's a setup issue that turns into a fight issue. Like, I don't feel like anything really moves forward. It's more set up with like light sparring.
Yeah, they kind of gave a how can I put it so nicely? They gave an intro to those in the Impossible City, and then you kind of saw the matchup. So yeah, you got a fair point.
Yeah. Still not bad. Still enjoying this book. I think the Jed McKay's Avengers is off to a good, strong start. I really like the team. I like that they had to deal with where they were in Fall of X because all the Avengers got removed from the situation before Fall of X, before Hellfire Gala really kicked off. Also, side note, Secret Invasion 2 came out. I read it. It's happening. Stuff happened. That's about as much as I feel about that book.
That did not sound confident at all, Joe. That didn't sound confident.
Stuff happened. That's it.
That didn't sound confident at all.
No, it is not a good book. I don't know why they keep letting people let things like that come back. Moving on, we got Hulk number 2, Incredible Hulk number 2, also Legacy issue 783, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, art by Nick Klein, and colors by Matt Wilson. God bless Marvel for always having these like catch-up issues, or catch-up pages and whatnot. So the dead are rising and going to a town, and the little girl Charlie runs into Bruce, and Keith's like, turn into the Hulk.
I had never seen it. It was like a kid poking, was like, do something. It's like,
I like where like he misinterprets this as like her like auditioning for the Avengers, because she's like, well, everybody had a sidekick at one point. The Hulk needs a sidekick, and I'm like, honey, has what is his name anymore? I just don't remember. Oh, Rick Jones. Do people just not remember Rick Jones anymore? Has he gone the way of Snapper Carr?
Pretty much. That's why I was still laughing when they sat there and said it's like the Hulk doesn't need a sidekick. I'm like, people around
you ran around with Rick Jones for how many years?
Right. I'm like, do you want to be unforgettable? You can be unforgettable. But no. No.
So, Bruce is still really reluctant to let the Hulk out because the Hulk really doesn't like what Banner did to him in the intervening time. And this is Hulk, apparently. This is not Roadbreaker. This is not Devil. This is not Joe. This is classic Green Hulk who got taken over by Banner mentally and turned into a starship in reality. I don't know how that works. But needless to say,
he ain't happy.
Big Green ain't happy and has basically told Hulk that next time I appear, that's it for you.
Yeah.
You're done.
Imagine being told that your other self is like, the moment you lose control, that is it for you. That's like, damn.
Now, the weird thing is that we will spoil this for you. The Hulk does come out, but that is one of the certain conditions for a different Hulk to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, how is this going to play out? Or is it just all Hulks are amalgam again?
I wouldn't be surprised. I still think Devil Hulk may not come out, but
Devil Hulk technically has to come out because Bruce was killed at night.
That is true. And at the same time, not to go into the spoilers of why that's relevant at this location. Yeah, you know what? No, Devil Hulk is going to come out. The Fractured Sun, he is going to come out. The more I think about it,
I think this is the case where all Hulks are amalgam again.
I mean that too, but I'm still. I keep on thinking about the Fractured Sun. That's why I'm like, the Fractured Sun will arrive. I'm like, is it really gonna be Devil Hulk, or is it gonna be? That's what makes me think. I'm sorry, I don't mean to spoil it, but again, great issue. It really was.
The fact that Hulk goes back to being a horror comic just really lends it to itself. Like, I think Marvel editorial realized that Hulk does better when it's horror by looking at the sales number and the time that Hulk beat Batman for like a whole month, which is that's impressive. It's Batman.
Right.
Very few things top Batman. But when it's the Hulk beating Batman, at Marvel editorial is like, get rid of this starship BS. We don't care. Make it spooky again.
Yeah, consider the fact that nobody liked it. I mean, I could imagine anybody liked the whole idea of the Hulk being a starship that has a bridge and engine room. And yeah, I didn't see it really taking off that well. But this issue, I'm gonna have to really wait before we can talk about it. But again, good issue. I need to shut up before I spoil it.
Yep. She-Hulk number 15. This is written by Rainbow Raul with art by Andreas Galanti. Art color by D. Cuffney and letters by Joe Carmenanga. So this is a finale of She-Hulk. It is getting rebooted in September, I believe, as the sensational She-Hulk. They are picking up that title back again. This issue feels just kind of rounds out this storyline. She does not get together with Scoundrel, who We learn has put a nuclear device in Central Park somewhere.
Yeah.
Punch Club is fighting a horde, and I love that joke. It's like, well, that looks like a horde. Yeah, it's a horde, all right. I've fought a horde before.
Ben is funny. Ben is the most realistic one. Like, okay, yeah,
we're fighting a horde.
he's like, yeah, well, might as well. He's like, he's at. It is almost that realization of, yep, it's gonna happen. Just might as well go and accept it.
And then Jack of Hearts and She-Hulk continue to confirm they are a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that Ben's like, wait, he's still alive?
Because I mean, at the time, well, given the fact they all thought he was dead, so I can see that.
So yeah, good issue. I like the finale. This is definitely going to be continuing. I love that it's continuing. I love that Rainbow Row is doing such a solid job on this. And the art is what I really, really look forward to in this book as much as I do the writing.
Yeah.
I own a couple of the other runs of She-Hulk now. I own some of the Dan Slott. I own all of the Doug Sewell. Doug Sewell crafts a great story, but that art in that book is piss poor at best. So it's one of those, you got to take the good with the bad. Like, that is a fantastic case that Christoph Von Doom wants to seek asylum in the United States because he doesn't want to rule Latveria, and Doom comes back to extradite him. So She-Hulk gets back because Christoph's been granted the asylum, and then it just turns into Doom talking to his sons like, oh, you didn't want to rule. Okay. Well, I have to think about some things. She was like, also, I really want to smash this giant Doombot, and Doom, of course, controlling said giant Doombot, because you will not smash the Doombot. Take my son back to America, let him live his life, and we shall convene at his next thing. But, you know, it's a great story that I just told, because that seems like a good legal drama. That art is god-awful.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong, but...
Oh, you're looking at it?
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm trying to... I kind of wish I didn't look at it, but you're not wrong.
But the art for this book, fantastic. Like,
oh yeah,
you got to make She-Hulk look as good as the story because, you know, I'm not saying you got to cheesecake her out because it's She-Hulk, but you got to, like, make the book look as pleasing as possible because it's She-Hulk and she deserves to look fantastic at all times. But the art needs to be right up there with the story.
You're right. Makes sense.
Like, she looks like this in the book. As opposed to, they kept getting Phil Noto to do covers in Doug Sewell's run. I'm like, just get Phil Noto to... And this is me being biased, too, because, you know, me being the Phil Noto fan, I'm just like, just get him to do the whole book. I would buy that in a heartbeat. But yeah, read this book, read the upcoming book.
Huh? I love the fact you did stress that, yes, you were biased, but you got a point. I'm sorry, that part stuck in my head. It's like, yes, you're biased, but you had a point.
And then the big book for the night. Let's talk about the Hellfire Gala.
Jesus.
We got our new team of X-Men for all of 2 seconds. Our new team of X-Men was Cannonball, Frenzy, Prodigy, Dazzler, Jubilee. The ones that are still alive, and Juggernaut, which he may or may not be dead. I'm not entirely sure. The only two that are surviving are Sync and Talon. Everybody else is dead.
Oh, that was Jesus.
He ain't there.
The premise of it all, with just the Avengers getting pulled, like Joe said, the Avengers getting pulled away.
The resurrection of Kamala Khan.
Who, whether or not does not want to come out as an Inhuman and a mutant. Then you have Scott Summers, who was summoned to the treehouse. And then it was like the perfect storm of just Orchid agents.
She wasn't there either, so you know.
Right. I mean, no pun intended, but to have Orchid come through the portals, you know, the portals that humans can't operate, and yet they were able to reverse engineer the portals to actually get onto Krakoa, then subdue everybody, including Jean with what was it? Bill Swipe?
Blightwill.
Blightwill, thank you. With Blightwill, which a blade that Moira had. And then at the same doggone time, systematically taking out mutants. Damn. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part, because it seemed like the upper hand was coming back in the mutants' favor. Enter Dr. Stasis and secretly Mother Righteous, which Dr. Stasis was like, he had a plan.
No, that wasn't Mother Righteous who came with Dr. Stasis.
No.
That was Omega Sentinel.
Yeah. But she was still on the other. She's still in the background, the shadows of things. The crazy part was, and again, keep in mind, Jean is trying to keep everybody together, rally the troops and whatnot, only for Moira, who was shielded from a telepath with a single blade, and decided to make a holiday ornament out of Jean Grey.
Yeah, I still say Jean's died from less.
Yeah, she's died from way less. But
also, Cyclops is the new Charles because now he can't feel his legs.
Too soon.
No, it wasn't.
Too soon.
It was at least 2 days after the book dropped.
Oh, but no, with the fact that Jean Grey still trying to hatch a plan to save everyone, but at the same time, Charles, I'm surprised Moira didn't kill Charles 3 times over by then. The fact that Rogue kind of just tore her in half and saved him. Of course, Charles is still lamenting the fact that he had forced mutants to literally leave planet Earth out of the fear that Orchid would kill every human, because again, they reverse engineered Krakoian medicine to basically turn humans into feral animals and can kill them off anytime they want. So now Charles is looking shocked as all get out on what looks to be on the edge of an island, who believes that this is now the fall of X, as the traitor, what's the traitor's name? Firestar, is being paraded around. At the same time, you have some X-Men that are trying to regroup, but they can't go back and use the portals anymore, except for one individual who happened to fall right through it.
Well, there's more to it than that, because we learned that the traitor is not a traitor, because that was a plan with Jean the whole time.
Pretty much.
Like, look, we're going to get you on the inside. We're going to make this right. But everyone's going to really hate you for a while.
Right. It's like, but it's my part. It's like, you train for this. How do you train for having everyone hate you? That's
it's like, honey, that's just being a mutant 101.
I said, you've been trained for everyone to hate you? Okay, that's different. All right. But no, but it does set up for the fall of X. But my God, I wasn't expecting the body count to be that freaking high. Juggernaut, like you said, may or may not be alive. Nimrod may have kept him alive. Hard to say. But Jean being dead, she's been dead before, but I didn't expect that way. But
well, they did save the 5, so she can come back a bit quicker.
Yeah.
Than normal.
Yeah, she can. So it's interesting. And of course, Wolverine, we know he's somewhere still alive because.
So Wolverine's story is actually shown over in the Wolverine thing, where he just like at the end of the X-Force issue just says, F Krakoa, I'm done with this.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting for the fall of X. I think that, the fact that there's still a little bit of Sinister kind of in this, not from the sins of Sinister, but the fact that we are having fall of X as the next overall event. If this is the premise, then dear God, there's going to be some more bodies dropping before the end of this run is done.
Oh yeah, I mean we have the full lineup of what X books come out after this. I'm looking forward to Dark X-Men because that's going to be a team led by Madeline.
Uh-huh.
And that's going to be super fun. I think it's like let me see. Type it up real quick. Fall of X books.
Okay.
Fall of X. As soon as the Wikipedia loads up. Mainline stories. Here. Destiny of X is a Sinister.
So if we're going by that, let's see. So hang on. So if you're going by part 1, oh, they got different parts. Oh, that's something else. Never mind. That's wrong. Nope. Yeah, that's wrong. I was going to say House of X, but that's wrong. Because I was looking to see whether... So what?
We got updating Fall of X before the fall, after Hellfire Gala. We got X-Men, Astonishing Iceman. Immortal X-Men does actually continue. Yay! More Kieran Gillen. This man knows how to write his books.
Nice.
The Children of the Vault, which that's bad. They let the Children of the Vault out.
Yeah. So Alpha Flight, Dark X-Men.
Uncanny Avengers. Captain America, Penance, Quicksilver, Psylocke, Deadpool, and Rogue. Oh, it's going to have Captain America and Deadpool on the same team.
That'll be interesting.
X-Men Red, where it looks like it's Storm, Sunspot, Nova, and a couple of Iraqians. There we go. So the Dark X-Men. Who's on this team? Madeline Pryor leading with Boyfriend, Havoc, Archangel, Gambit, Azazel, Zero, Albert, which is that Wolverine lookalike, and M-Plate. They are going to be the new X-Men.
Interesting.
Of course, Alpha Flight. X-Force is back. Wolverine comes back. Invincible Iron Man is also part of Fall of X. Mostly because of that new alliance/marriage with Emma Frost.
Yeah.
Jean Grey gets a book, which is unsurprising because, we literally just said Jean is going to come back. So there's that.
There's that. Right.
Realm of X, which just looks to me like it. Yep, it's exactly what I thought it was. It is the replacement for New Mutants. It is the team of Magic, Mirage, Marrow, Dust, and Typhoid Mary are stranded in the realm of Vanaheim, one of the 10 realms seen in Thor, and they got to get back. Uncanny Spider-Man, which is Nightcrawler as the mutant Spider-Man of Krakoa. And then X-Men Origins Blue, written by Cy Spurrier, where it looks at the origins of Nightcrawler. And then, of course, Ms. Marvel. And then the new X-Men, which will be crowned at the end of Fall of X.
That's going to be interesting. But they're going to explain where Storm was the entire time.
She's on Morocco, which has been the biggest issue this whole time, is she's spending too much time on Mars.
Wolverine, wow. That cover for Wolverine is still fun.
I don't really like it.
It's like, okay, so he's basically Ghost Rider. All right, I'll give it a shot. But no, it's going to be interesting with the Fall of X, especially with the run they're going on to. But the fact of how they're going to do this, it's going to be interesting. Although Uncanny Spider-Man, so if Spider-Man and Nightcrawler have powers.
Now, the biggest interesting cameo in this is we had two gentlemen talking to Magic very briefly. That is Jonathan Hickman, most notably the man who started this whole X-Men run, who is now going on to do Marvel Gods or something, the big Magic event with Win and Dimitri, who are the two talking to Magic. They quickly make their exit because they're talking like, so you guys are gods and whatnot, and it's Ileana. So, of course, she's going to say, yeah, we're gods, basically. It's like, who are you? It's like, we work for the old ones.
We work for the old ones, and then dipped. Work for the old ones, and then said, hey, we'll be going now. Yeah. It's like, wait a second. No one sat there in question when the guy was like, yeah, so we're going to go.
We couldn't even get in to begin with. By the way, your original writer says hi.
That's good. I mean, that's the part that killed me was like, and no one invited you. Oh, don't worry, we're leaving. Good luck trying to get out yourselves. But no.
I think the only other thing that made me laugh is when somebody was looking at Fist like, the Blob is smarter than I thought it was going to be. That's not the Blob.
Just Jesus. But no, it was a shocker issue, but I dig it though. It does lead up to what we can expect from this event. But no, I dig it.
Plus Emma face smashing into the portal, and Katie's just like, oh my god, that's what it looked like every time.
That was funny. That was funny, and the same shock that Emma Frost had, like, I can't use the portal. Yeah, none of y'all can. But, you going face first is always fun to watch.
They have so much love for each other now, and I don't mean that in a sarcastic manner. If you guys have been reading, like, Marauders before it went into space, those two are best friends.
Yeah, but it was still funny, though. But all right.
Nope, that's it.
Cool. Well, Joe, thank you for that. And as always, we do want to show love to Rick's Comic City. As you can see, guys, Rick's Comic City voted Nashville's #1 place for comic book stores. They actually have 2 locations. You can check them out in Nashville and, of course, in Clarksville. And, of course, their new spot called Nerd Locker that's in Fort Campbell. You can definitely check them out, guys. As I said before, Nashville's #1 place for comic book stores. Also, the website right here, rickscomicbookcity.com, where you can buy and trade hardcovers, grade comics, gift cards, things of that nature. Definitely check them out. Show them love. Let them know we sent you. Doesn't mean you're going to get discounts or anything, but, hey, they show us love, and we want to show love to them back. Also, if you are not in the Nashville, Tennessee area, guys, please support your local comic book store, support your local libraries. Always read.
Hey, I got my library card finally.
Yes, I have that one too. I read banned books, and if you don't know what that is about, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, there are those people out there that would rather you not read certain things out of the fear of themselves. Look, reading is fundamental. Books are fundamental. So read. So in the words of Stephen King, read the books they banned from you because there's something about them that you should know they don't want you to know. So
I thought his saying was, I bought that car that nearly killed me and made it into a story.
That too. Although Christine was still one of my favorite books. But again, guys, support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries, as they're the last areas to where you can get all the comics, the mangas, animes to your heart desires. That's all we're saying. So as we wrap this up, guys, Joe, anything you want people know what you're doing? Because I know you have a very, very, very busy weekend.
Oh, yeah. No, tomorrow I got the library event tomorrow for back to school for the kids over in Gallatin. Mm-hmm. I'll be there with the Ghostbusters and the multiple cosplaying groups I'll be with. Then I'll be in Smyrna for the cosplay event at the Smyrna Malco Theater to help promote Haunted Mansion. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday I have nothing, so sleep, maybe. Doubt it.
Possibly.
Doubt it. Also, Monday nights I am streaming Street Fighter. I think I did it Tuesday because Monday was just so tiring, but still fighting. The game just got updated. There was a small quality of life thing to where you can now drive rush off of a button push so long as you do a cancelable move. Also, Rashid came out. Despite what people believe, he does not need to be fixed. Mm-hmm. It's just, as the new terminology is, and I admit to this, if you don't know how to deal with him, it is a skill issue. I have already gone on, no, and I say this myself included,
Mhm.
'cause I'm a Manon player. I've already gone around and asking people, hey, how do I deal with this?
Mhm.
Not crying, oh,
But
it should be nerfed or I should be buffed. I'm Manon. If I get 5 medals, you're losing half your life off one move. I'm fine. We already had someone complain about not having good anti-airs. We have a anti-air that does a hard knockdown and an anti-air of IEX. It ends in me tossing you. We have anti-airs as Manon players. That's a skill issue.
Okay. Fair
So
enough.
I'm doing that. Beat Final Fantasy 16. I will
How
not
was
be
it?
doing the replay on Final Fantasy mode for quite some time, but very good. The ending was very melancholy yet satisfactory. Actually, kind of ends almost like identically to what's it called? Ashura's Wrath. It almost ends identically to Ashura's Wrath
Oh, okay.
with the DLC.
Oh, okay. So, I have to play that now. I have to hear him get a PS5. I heard him get a PS5 so I can play it.
Let me think. What else am I doing? I think that's really about it in terms of streaming. I am dumping these things on YouTube now once I stream them. So, check those out there over Total Justice Gaming. Not really tweeting a whole bunch, but, I'll retweet things that I can find that aren't what the algorithm thinks I like on Twitter.
No, fair enough. All right. Of course, thank you, Joe. And of course, as he said, you can catch his Twitch channel at Joe Tell You Last Name, and of course his YouTube channel, Total Justice Gaming. I myself, guys, Black Fox 447 on all socials. You can usually find me almost everywhere. I do reviews on everything that I read, that I watch, that I play. Sometimes gym stuff as I try to get myself back into better shape. At the same time, guys, our podcast can be seen practically and heard. Oh, you got a finger up. What's up?
No, I'm trying to think. Stitcher until it closes.
Uh-huh.
Spotify, where it mainly is.
Mm-hmm.
Google Podcasts and Amazon Music. We are not on iTunes. I am not paying $15 just to put a podcast on there every week. I understand it has better distribution than most platforms, but still, that's $15 I don't feel like spending.
We got to come up with a budget. We'll have a budget one day, but right now we're going to take the free stuff. Also, we can be heard on Opulence Radio and seen on Always Record TV. So for all your listening and viewing pleasure, wherever podcast can be heard or seen, you can definitely find us there. The link at the bottom, guys, I'll just make that a wee bit bigger for you guys to find. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, it'll take you to the YouTube and Facebook groups for all of our podcasts. How the Prep Guy Here Get Bit, and of course, off on this podcast. Like, share, subscribe, and of course, let us know what you think of everything that we discussed tonight. Whether you agree or disagree, we still want to know, just because we want to keep the conversation going. As always, please keep it clean, no attacks. No shaming. We all have a fandom. We are all passionate about it, but we can all be normal, happily agree to disagree, consenting adults. We don't need to be the Xbox chat room of Call of Duty. That's all I'm saying. Aside from that, guys, again, con season is out. I know some friends of mine are right now enjoying DreamCon DreamCon in Texas. So again, hopefully they'll be able to enjoy that. I know there's going to be some other cons coming up. I will keep stressing this. I will keep stressing these 3 rules that we have, simply put, because they need to be followed. Number 1, respect cosplayers. Respect cosplayers at all times. These are normal human beings who are basically fulfilling a fandom, and it takes a whole lot of guts to put on something out in front of people and not be gawked at, not be made fun of, things of that nature. Respect the art, respect the cosplayer. Again, be nice. Always, always be nice. If you walk up and compliment them and ask them for a picture, 9 times out of 10, you may actually get one. But if you don't, say it's cool and keep it moving. Again, these are human beings. They are not put here for your discretion and pleasure. Second of all, please, hygiene. Please brush your teeth, wash your hair, use soap, use deodorant, wear clean clothes. You might be in a con that has a lot of space for you to walk, and you might be in a con that's asses and elbows. I kid you not. Please be clean and groom yourself. That's all we ask. And number 3, above all else, this is a rule that we keep in place. It may help you, it may not. But if you're looking for deals at a con, always wait till the vendor is ready to get rid of stuff. Because as vendors bring stuff in, they're really not trying to bring anything but money out. You might get a great deal on stuff. Not always guaranteed, but be patient. You never know. But with that being said, guys, as we wrap this up, we will definitely be back here, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel, with news as we hopefully await to see the end of the strike, because there is some news out there that we cannot talk about. Again, we won't talk about as we stand in solidarity with the actors and with the writers and actors as they are taking on Hollywood. So out of respect for them, we do not report anything that hasn't already been reported out there, and we are definitely not being paid for it. So with that being said, guys, Joey, last words, sir, before we call tonight?
I mean, I put this on laser time thing. I understand that AI is evil, will eventually lead to Skynet, which is why I've been playing Terminator Resistance for advanced training. That way I'll survive while you won't, you being the general audience. But I still want to use AI cover art so I can have Zangief sing Chop Your Way Into My Heart for Phineas and Ferb.
I will never get that out of my head now. He's been
It
Joe.
makes the song a whole different context. It's just Zangief saying chop, 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 chop your way into my heart.
I can't. He's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Give It Podcast tonight, guys. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves, each other. I will never get that out of my head. We will get through this. Have a good night, guys. Peace.